for Pitts. Intercepted by Ray Hubble, who may go all the way again. He's going to be cut off near the sideline. He was tripped by a man standing in front of the Winnipeg bench.
First down, Edmonton with the football. McManus going up top for Eddie Brown. What a catch! Eddie Brown! Touchdown, Edmonton! Penalty markers down all over the field.
Illegal substitution, too many men on the field, Saskatchewan.
From 33 yards out to win the 97th Grey Cup. Ball down, ball through.
What is up, everybody, and welcome into the Football A podcast. It's your boys, Big Hoppa, Bryce Hopwood, Anthony Ventura, a.k.a. Ant, is on the other side of the screen.
Sure.
We are excited. Last week it was somber. It was a little bit sad. Ant had a bad weekend between his athletics teams. My teams are okay. Brewers could clinch today as a big baseball guy. So looking to send the Milwaukee Brewers into the playoffs. But nobody listening to this podcast that's Canadian probably gives a rat's behind, because we are strictly throttled into what is an exciting race for these playoffs, and yeah, I guess that's the cold open. Do you have anything to add?
I'm excited to see this stretch run. We're coming up about on our 1 year of when we started watching the CFL. I don't remember the exact week, but we're coming up mighty fast on that. I thought it was week 18 last year, and we are right there.
I think.
What are we, week 15 right now?
This week is week 16.
Okay.
The problem is they get there's multiple bye weeks, so it throws me off. This
fair.
is week 16 of Canadian Football League football.
Does that ring a bell for you that last year was week 18? That seems to ring a bell for me.
Let's see. So I'm going back now as we speak. It says
Great
Football
radio
A.
to start this episode.
Yeah, insanely good radio. It says our first host was 10 months ago.
Okay. So maybe I'm a little off. Maybe it was it was week 20. Maybe I'm just thinking in terms of NFL where there's 17 games.
Hold on. But that doesn't feel right. Caleb Evans wasn't our first episode, was it?
No, not even close.
I was going to say, maybe we got to check. I think I did. I think the YouTube started later than Spotify. Yeah, okay. Hold on.
Okay, I'm locked in.
October 12th, Help Us Understand, was our first post. So,
okay.
Yeah,
so, we're 2 weeks out from our, 2 or 3. I'm bad at math.
Who would have thought?
3. Yeah, we're coming up on a year. This is our first real getting to see the stretch run rather than just the final couple weeks. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see the playoff races break down.
Yeah, let's start there. The standings. I think that's probably the most interesting thing going on right now. Montreal, couple weeks we have been locked in here. We get a point after the tie with Calgary this week. Crazy. I can't believe they did it that way. But I think we're staring down the barrel of a potential crossover. It could end up being close, depending on some of the results this week. Winnipeg and BC, both 7 wins, 14 points. We had 2 ties. I don't think there was a tie last year, at least that I'm aware of. 2 ties now. Saskatchewan had the tie with Ottawa earlier, and then Montreal, Calgary this week. Saskatchewan, 3 points behind BC and Winnipeg with 11. Edmonton, flown up. Well, technically 1 spot from their 0 and whatever it was, 5 start with 10 points. Calgary with 9. Hamilton does have 8, and Toronto has 14. Ottawa 17. Montreal leading all of the Canadian Football League with 21. So it's been an interesting year, and I'm definitely excited to see if we get a little crossover at all into the East, but it should be fun, and it's going to be very dependent on Toronto. I mean, they have you would assume a layup this week with Hamilton going to Toronto, but the standings, I mean, obviously Saskatchewan the last couple of weeks, and your boys have not been up to the test. What do we got? We got we is strong. Yeah, at Calgary. What do you thinking this week, and what do you
Do
got
you
to
want me to
do
already
here?
preview this, or do you want me to save this for
Maybe not
later?
a preview, but just where are
Yeah,
you at as a
we
Saskatchewan fan?
simply have to win. Not even just regarding the crowd. We just have to win just for Corey Mays. Obviously, I don't think he's going to get fired or anything. That's not something that happens. Actually, I'm just saying that that's not something that happens in America. I don't know if CFL coaches get fired after one bad year. I don't know. Somebody let us know. Stank Bites Pete, let us know. But generally, I would assume that's not something that happens, and I don't expect it to. But man, what did I say? Like 0-1 and or 0-6-1 in the last 7, something like that. Just it's
Yeah.
bad. It's a bad stretch. You got to do something. I understand the injuries and whatnot, but I need to see something. A lot of those games they weren't really that close. At least the 2 Winnipeg games were at least close, but a lot of those games are kind of ugly. So I need to see something this week from them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that actually has like pretty massive implications.
Yep.
BC is off this week. Saskatchewan, at, like I said, 3 points behind BC and Winnipeg who have 14. Calgary has 9. So like a Calgary win, all of a sudden, like all of a sudden they're vaulted into firmly into the
Yep.
race as they've looked. They're 4-8-1. They've looked really ugly for a stretch now. They tie Montreal. They mucked up that game. Saskatchewan with a win is all of a sudden like back in the race for first. It's
Comfortably,
crazy
yeah.
what. Yeah, pretty comfortably. It's going to be. I'm interested to see what Mace has this week because with a 5-1 start, and it's been a long time, most of the summer without a W here. So yeah, must win. I want to ask you, must win or can't lose?
I would say must win. I'm always you play to win. I hate to
Yeah,
go. What do they say? The like a lot of you guys aren't going to understand. A lot of the listeners aren't going to understand this. But Kentucky played Georgia this week, and they punted down 1 from Georgia's side of the field with like 3 minutes left. That was Mark Stoops coaching not to lose rather than coaching to win. You got to go for that. You got to coach to win. You can't coach to lose. I need Corey Mace to show up with that attitude on Saturday night.
I'm excited for it. I think it'll be good. Yeah, from my perspective, I mean, I bet Saskatchewan's over. I got to get 3 more wins, and the time is running out. So this is a must win. I'm going to be on Saskatchewan. We can get to that a little bit later, as well. But some of the news and some of the headlines I think that are important to talk about this week. I mean, guys banged up, that kind of stuff. It seems like, I think first and probably foremost would be Ardarius Pickett, Ottawa Achilles Dunzo for the year. After last week, we had Philpott for my Owls go down for the season. So really tough timing for injuries.
All across the
And
league, it's been like that.
yeah, all
Injuries have
across
been awful. And it's true in the NFL too. I don't know what's happening this year, and maybe it's 2024 curse, but everybody in every league seems to be going down. Stephen Kwan's hurt for my Guardians. Everybody in every league is hurt. I don't know
yeah,
what's going on.
it's pretty brutal. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this the other day because like I'm an avid NFL fantasy football player. 10 leagues. I went 10-0 this week. In all of my leagues, I won every single league that I'm in, which is crazy, including a win over Ant, but that can be another talk for another time. And yeah, everybody seems to be hurt for some reason or another. And it's weird how, as we've unlocked better health, better, more efficient stuff for athletes. I'm not going to pretend to have examples on hand because I'm a fat
Guardian
piece of
cast.
shit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, between that, I mean, the way, eating, working out, like muscle groups, all the stuff that has been figured out to give us these incredible athletes. It does feel like guys, I mean, like Stanton, I don't know, John Carlos Stanton, I don't know, that guy's been hurt forever, and we just get these guys that have weird injuries when we're in the midst of the best athletes science can put together, regardless of the league. It's crazy how that works out, and some of it's unlucky, and I'm sure some of it's not. So should be an interesting one there. Your Saskatchewan, I guess we should probably bring up as well. Speaking of an Ottawa guy, Ardarius Pickett going down for the year, but former running back Rock Armstead, he is now a Saskatchewan Roughrider. Obviously, Thor's Dunsky for the year. Is that?
I think I read that. I don't know it. I have not seen anything in the news about him in a while, so I'm just
Yeah.
assuming. I'm just assuming at this point, but I
Yeah.
don't
So,
know.
all right. Well, what I'm gonna say.
Either way, I
What's
think it's a good signing. Obviously, Hickson had been good there for a few weeks,
yeah.
but Armstead was really, really good at the beginning of the year for Ottawa. I know you were riding him pretty hard there for a sec. Yeah.
Yo.
Pause. No Diddy.
Oh yeah,
But
especially now.
yeah, but I like the signing. I think it helps us immediately, and if God willing, we make the playoffs. We'll see. I think it helps there.
Yeah, I mean it's a dynamic ball player, and that's something I think the offense is good, and I think it's just been a weird few games that like it just hasn't all come together, especially since Trevor went down. Shea kind of kept him in a couple games, was kind of bad in some, was okay in some, and then Trevor's been fairly decent, definitely not you know, upper echelon necessarily, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Saskatchewan has this week. Um, we'll probably call out SBP for this, and I'm sure we'll get a long message later, but I'm just going to read the headline. Bell sells its stake in MLSE to Rogers for $4.7 billion. If you're a CFL fan, a long time CFL fan, not one that is a 10-month-old CFL fan like Ant and myself, I'm sure that means something to you. If you know,
I'm pretty sure I know
look,
what
we don't
MLSE
have to just.
is. I'm pretty sure I
What's
know what
that?
MLSE is.
What's that?
I believe it's like Maple Leaf Sports something, Sports Entertainment. I don't know. It's something like that because I think they own
Maple
the
Leaf
Leafs.
Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Shout
Look,
out
you were
me,
right.
big
Ed
Leafs
that owns the
fan,
Leafs.
real Leafs fan here. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Fake
I
fan.
assume they own the Argos as well.
Yeah, I would assume that's
Yeah.
to me I read Rogers and I think Rogers center in Toronto. So I would
Yeah.
assume that there's some sort of correlation there, but
Probably.
yeah, SVP doesn't have to be the only guy to tell us. You guys, anybody else that gets a hold of this and wants to DM us and have a take, just let us know. We have an
Please.
email. It's like football.a@gmail.com.
You can shout us out like the craziest CFL takes you can possibly imagine. We will listen. We have no
Yeah.
basis for what's crazy. You can say literally anything to us and we'll be like, oh yeah, definitely. That makes sense. We'll be your echo chamber.
Absolutely. You can we're still like a toddler. Like you could potentially mold us with your takes and we just become clones of you. If you really want to own the CFL. Yeah. So if you really want to own the CFL media with our many, many viewers every so often.
Some are saying
Get
on the rocket ship before it takes off. That's probably a good idea.
I did see the CFL on X, formerly Twitter, posted 111th Grey Cup media accreditation. If you want to get yours, you gotta post.
I'm saying.
Look, haters not thrilled about what could potentially be coming. Certainly likely not us to BC or Victoria. Certainly not Ant.
No.
Yeah. Either way, let's talk a little bit about last week. I think that takes care of most of the headlines and whatnot there. 3 games stunk. Not saying the games necessarily stunk, although
they kind of stunk.
Yeah, 33-17. Toronto goes into BC Place. Absolutely shreds them. Kelly didn't look particularly good, had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. Kadeem, they got him more carries, but wasn't all that effective. Makai Polk had a great game, though, for Mississippi State. Probably the only thing positive for Mississippi State last weekend.
Yeah, Toledo put them to the torch.
Yeah.
Both BC court, because Rourke and VA both played, and they both looked bad. Frankly, they both looked bad. Chase Bryce probably looked the best. I think Chase Bryce is the only one with a touchdown, right? Your App State guy.
Yeah, 2 of 4, 32 yards of a touchdown. I was so out of it on Friday that I didn't even end up seeing that. Missed out. That's crazy.
Missed out. That's okay. You had a professional baseball game. We're here. But yeah, I think they'll turn it around. It was a weird game. We honestly could not have been more wrong about that on our preview.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We've been wrong before. We probably will never be wrong again, so you might as well relish this being wrong this time.
Yeah, get it. It's Dan Hurley. Get us now while you can, because we're about to be right about every single take we have.
Correct.
Yeah, it was a weird game. Stanback 6 for 21 yards. I don't know. The BC that was weird. And it's not they had a lot of momentum, so for them to just get stymied like that, you have to wonder. They're obviously on a bye week this week, so it'll be interesting. I will put this out there because I did not get a response. I did DM Nathan Rourke, just let him know, hey, hope you get a chance to come on, but if you don't, shout out your brother Curtis, who was the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, and I guess let's just do this because I had to come up. I love Curtis. I've gotten to interview him twice. Great guy, great family, obviously. I was thinking, like, what if Curtis comes into the league at some point and say, like, goes to Calgary or something like that? Like, there's a chance, and you're gonna hate this. There's a chance I have to switch my fandom because I don't think I could cheer against Curtis.
Yeah, I mean, I am going to hate that. The only thing that I'll say is I hope that he doesn't somehow make his way to Winnipeg and become the Caleros disciple that takes over the reins when Caleros is done very quickly, the way he looks this year. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And my ideal world is Curtis gets drafted by the Packers. Well, I was going to say the NFL, and then I get to hang out with him like a lot, and he lives in Wisconsin. But
No. Well, we can The Saskatchewan is where we want him, right? Let's be on the same team here, Hop. Let's be on the same team.
I mean, if he goes to Montreal, imagine
You're
Curtis
abandoning
Rourke
Caleb and Davis that quick. That's crazy.
No, that's not the same thing.
Montreal and Caleb and Davis never play again.
That's
a crazy world we live in. Crazy world. Me wanting him to be Saskatchewan. Me wanting him to be Saskatchewan is just saying I hope Shea Patterson gets kicked off the roster. That's on brand for me. You saying you want Caleb off the Montreal roster is crazy work. I tell you.
This is the nastiest.
I'm gonna DM Caleb right now. I'm gonna DM him right now.
Don't you dare.
I don't know what you just said.
Freak out. That was all-time slimy, nasty, dirty work out of you, Anthony Ventura. That is not what I said. I just am saying that if Curtis Rourke is the Q quarterback for my favorite team, I would not complain.
Are you saying you don't trust him Fajardo then?
Oh my god! Yeah, actually, I'm calling. I'll do this right now. I'm calling for Cody Fajardo's job. Put in Caleb. I'd rather have Caleb with a bad knee than Cody Fajardo.
DMing Cody Fajardo right now as we speak.
It's the video. It's Chris Pratt, Guardians of the Galaxy, when he's screaming no, and in the caption is Ant DMing Cody Fajardo or threatening to DM Cody Fajardo. Oh man, what a time to be alive! But yeah, BC. I guess that's where got slaughtered at home. Yeah, I mean, I know it's still like technically a quarter of the season left with week 16 here. You know, there's a few weeks left, but yeah, BC. I think I keep the eyes on that, especially with the starting quarterback decision having to come here in 2 weeks, essentially, week and a half. Other results: Hamilton absolutely dominated Ottawa. This is you screaming they are who we thought they were preseason. Yeah, I'm sure you were dancing on the Ottawa grave. I mean, Drew Brown did not look good.
Even though I picked out a lot. I saw an interesting Drew Brown stat that I want to bring up. I will note this is from an unverified source on Twitter. It could be completely made up. I truly have no idea. But the way it was written makes me think it's real. So I'm going to just pretend that it's real. I saw before this game, the last 3 games, Drew Brown had 10 turnover-worthy throws, but only 1 interception. So he had a big turnover luck, as opposed to Jake Meyer, it said, had 3 turnover-worthy passes and 4 interceptions. Terrible luck. Now we come into this game where we see Drew Brown look pretty darn bad, like bad. And he threw a pick. Kind of maybe Ottawa's regressing. Maybe they're coming back to the mean. And on the flip side, Meyer looked pretty good against Montreal against a really, really good defense. He did not look bad at all. So I'm just maybe they are who we thought they are. Will Ottawa miss the playoffs? Maybe some are saying.
Yeah, even though I think with a win they clinch this week.
Don't worry about that. Look, we've lost 6 of 7. Ottawa can do the same thing.
That's true. Could happen.
After Cap.
I
think did I write down they play? I don't know. Maybe I just made this up. I think they play Montreal 2 of the next 3 weeks. Ottawa does. And I think it's Montreal, Saskatchewan, Montreal. Which, if we can turn it around, if you said something week 4, that's a really, really tough 3-game stretch. All of a sudden, Ottawa's on a 4-game losing streak. They're reeling. Some are saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Look, he's just putting it out there, folks.
I'm just putting it out there.
I love it. Yeah, it's you are right. It's at Ottawa, obviously, this week for Montreal. So Ottawa's at home, and then Ottawa has to go to Saskatchewan. They're off week 18, and then week 19, Ottawa heads to Montreal. And then week 20, they have Toronto, and they'll finish up with Hamilton. So maybe an easy one to ease them into the end of the year. But I mean,
an easy one, team just to beat them by multiple scores. Some are saying.
Some
are saying. Factor Cap.
Yeah.
Ottawa
great episode. There's a lot of laughs and smiles after last week. We had the air taken out of us.
I told you it was bad week. We're back now. We're hanging out. We're good.
Exactly. We're just chilling. Montreal to Calgary, 19-19 tie.
Ugly.
To your point about, it was an ugly game. Both teams didn't really, I mean, Montreal basically came back. Defense again was insane. I mean, they gave 10 points to Calgary in the first quarter, then 3, and then the 6 in overtime, but obviously they start down there later. In opponent territory, Darnell Sankey's insane. A couple turnovers. I mean, Meyer did look pretty good, 29-37, only 236 in the score. Diedrich Mills was back to himself, 21 carries for 122. Mark and Michelle looked good. I mean, Reggie Begelton is fucking insane. And yeah, the defense played really well. And this was the Calgary team preseason and like through the first half of the year at least that I was like begging to see. And obviously we had the roller coaster that was Jake Meyer, but I'm definitely interested to see what Calgary has going forward. Walter Fletcher was great for us. Fajardo ran in a touchdown, 19-26 for 204. Julian Grant being back was huge. Rambo, that guy still catches balls that I don't understand how he catches, but we gotta get Austin Mack back in this lineup for sure.
Yeah. I could feel the missing pieces to the offense watching the game. It was Philpott and Mack and just everybody being out. You could feel it. Not that I think you guys are in trouble or anything. I mean, he's still best defense in the league. Fajardo's still a menace when he's on, but you got to get some help.
I mean, Ty Bev, like his first worst game, probably of the year. They really tried to stay away from him. I mean, only 4 tackles, for that guy is insane. Sankey was all over, 10 tackles. I mean, when it comes to the defense, I mean, Sankey is obviously the leader. Ty Bev is all over the field. Those guys. We didn't even have Antoine Dequoy, which is, maybe the biggest piece of the defense back there, which is insane. But Cosby stepped up for Reggie Stubblefield, who obviously went down. Stubblefield, who went down early in the year. Deontay Ruffin has still been insane on the outside for us. So yeah, I would like to see more from Mustafa Johnson up the middle, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident with who we have. So I'm just chilling. We have 2 losses and a tie, so I've kind of got what I asked for a couple weeks ago with the less expectations. So as we kind of gather some of this health back between Mac and getting Antoine Dequoy back for these last couple weeks into the playoffs, I'm just kind of giddy, similar to my Brewers who have a 10-game lead in the division in baseball. Montreal, obviously, we've been clinched for a couple weeks now. I'm just kind of like antsy, like let's get to the playoffs, let's get this team healthy, and maybe just give ourselves a shot, you know?
I respect it. I respect it. I mean, you're minimizing the regular season here, but I hear you.
Well, yeah, it's not, we just
You're not
played
used
really
to a
well,
team in the
and
playoffs. I get it. I get it. This is exciting for you. Very exciting. I understand.
yeah, look, this is my first season with a full
With the team.
Alouette, yeah, with the team. So I'm excited. They've been really good. We've had our share of weird injuries and whatnot, but yeah, I'm just ready for the offs, baby.
Fair
Let's get
enough.
healthy. Let's play some quality ball. Let's get hot going into the offs. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I really have about week 15. It was just like we said, it was a short week. Obviously the first game Saturday and the Friday night game was already late, and then Saturday was good, but it wasn't like it was close. Obviously, it ended in a tie. I wish they would have just, to your point about coaching, like why not just throw a deep ball into the end zone if you're Montreal, right? Why not just break their hearts?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I hate the conservative play. Just throw it. Why not? The odds of
I
them
guess,
returning it for a touchdown are so low that you almost have to throw it.
yeah, and even like I guess the argument probably would be, I think Ottawa's only like 4 points behind, but you have them coming up, so
I'm not
you
worried
can
about
probably.
Ottawa if I was Montreal.
Yeah, I mean you're up I guess 3 points, so the tie gets you the fourth. So I guess getting a point when they didn't would probably be the argument. But yeah, I guess maybe
It's gonna
I'm
take
on
care
my
of
high
itself, like you
horse.
said. They play each other 2 out of 3 weeks. You win them, it's locked up anyway, and you lose them, you're gonna be behind anyways. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So
Make it happen.
all right. Well, that's all for week 15. Are you ready for week 16? You want to
Let's
do
get
some
into week
little preview?
16. Let's get into week
Uh,
16, brother.
What if we just messed around and talked about week 16? Who's gonna stop
Yeah,
us?
that's true.
Uh Friday night, Hamilton heads to
Fine.
Toronto. I mean, don't don't look now. Right?
I'm not.
Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend. Hamilton, the upset at home. Bo Levi, the Labor Day man, kept it close with Winnipeg the week before that too. And then they were off. They were off the weekend of the Banjo Bowl, which we won't talk about. So Hamilton on a sneaky 2-game win streak right now with heading to Toronto.
Yeah, they are, and they're plus 6.5 on the road this week at Toronto, over under 53.5. I, however, think it probably ends here. I think Hamilton is probably feeling themselves a little bit. Although I think Toronto's probably feeling themselves after beating the crap out of BC last week. So maybe there's something to be said for that. But I think Hamilton's probably getting a little too big for their britches here. A couple back-to-back wins. So who they beat the week before the Banjo Bowl? The Labor Day they beat what? No, it was Ottawa this week, and then it was
They
Calgary.
beat No, they beat Toronto in Hamilton on Labor Day.
Okay. Mm. I'm in a bind here. I'm I'm gonna I'm gonna take Toronto minus 6.5. I think
Yeah,
Hamilton comes down off the mountain.
yeah, no, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. Toronto, huge win going out west, like absolute slaughter. Um, not always, a fan of backing the quarterback for that team, but I think, like you said, they got to come down. Hamilton's got to come down at some point, and I think Toronto's starting to play well, which is not a fun thing to admit right now. And they kind of owe Hamilton for that one. So I think you could see probably double digit point, double digit game. I got minus 6.5 for Toronto too. That's not the only game Friday night though. Your boys head to Calgary. A must win, like you said. I mean, talk to me about Friday night. What are you thinking?
Some are gonna call this the old classic reverse jinx. I'm not gonna call it that. I'm gonna take Calgary money line. I just
Three
gave you
point dog,
the
right?
what?
I think it's 3 points. I saw
Two
3
and a half.
points.
Yeah, so
Two
it's
and a half.
Calgary
Okay.
plus 2.5 at home, but I'm gonna take them outright. I just gave you the possibly made up stat about Jake Meyer and turnover worthy throws. So I'm gonna, again, assuming that that's real, I'm going to bank on him having a good game against what's been a pretty suspect pass defense most of the year, and kind of still getting the new running back integrated. Our Armstead's good, and frankly, it's I don't want to say it's easy to run. It's easy to learn a playbook as a running back. They're kind of similar calls across teams for the most part. It's not like learning routes and stuff. No offense to running backs. They're obviously, you get what I mean. But
wow, Anthony hates all running backs. Put
yeah,
that in.
Caught me.
I'm gonna DM Nick Chubb and let him know.
Let him know. Please let Nick Chubb know that I said that as he's rehabbing. It's fine. Point is, they'll still be getting Armstead kind of adjusted to the new offense, and I think I'm going to take the Meyer stat as gospel, and I'm going to take Calgary money line.
Wow, so we completely disagree. Calgary, this will be their fourth. Hold on, 1, 2, 3. A little bit of counting for you at home. This is American public school at its finest. Yes, this is going to be their fourth game in a row. Saskatchewan off the sorry, I try to always say it. Saskatchewan Roughriders off of the bye. I think they're going to be fresh.
Pause. Speaking of your pronunciation, earlier you were trying to say the city that the Argonauts play in, and there's I see some stuff on Twitter. Is it Toronto or is it Toronto? Do we emphasize the second T or no? That's what I would like to know. I've heard a lot of Americans say Toronto, and I think most Canadians say Toronto. So I just need some clarification here. Which one's correct?
This is going to be a glimpse into my simpleton brain, but the times I've listened to Spit and Chicklets and Biz, because I think he's from like the area. I think he's from the Toronto area. I say like Toronto because he says Toronto, like almost with like a CH.
Yeah.
So that's the only insight I have. I'm sure somebody will tell us how dumb we fucking sound, but
yeah, surely very dumb. But somebody clarify. But go ahead. Yeah. Back to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm on the opposite side. I mean, I have the win total that I've mentioned like 87 times during this lack of win streak. I got them at -3. So on my book, I'll take the 2.5 for sure. And I just think, like I said, Calgary, their fourth game in a row. Saskatchewan, like, must win. They know they got to do it. I'm not going to say it's going to be a drubbing. We just had Meyer play an okay game. So going off of, it's all shaping up Saskatchewan from what we've learned in our short fandom this year. So that's why I got Saskatchewan. 8:30 Friday night, though. Don't love that as the start time, obviously, out there in Alberta.
I love it. I'm not doing nothing Friday. I think it's perfect. I don't have any professional baseball games to play, so it feels a little better for me.
Fair enough. Saturday afternoon, my Montreal Alouettes head to Ottawa. I think I might need to start grabbing a couple French words. We're talking pronunciation and language and stuff. Just a couple.
I'm a noted anti both French and French Canadian, so I will not be doing that.
That's fine. I will. I have no problem doing that. They head to Ottawa. They get Drew Brown. It seemed like the Qua might play. I don't really know. At this point, I'm not very. I mean, no Pickett. I think. What do you have the line?
Montreal -2.5 on the road at Ottawa.
Yeah, give me my guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna hammer that. Drew Brown. Some are saying he's not actually good. He's got a ton of turnover-worthy throws. But yeah, I think they. Like I said, I think there's a non-zero chance they lose out. So. Well, it starts here. It's
got to start with my guys. And I mean, Ardarius Pickett, like, he could still end up being all CFL. Which I don't know if we talked about that. We might have, instead of all CFL All-Star, it's now all CFL, which definitely sounds way better. I don't know for sure if we brought it up or not, but him.
I found the tweet that I'm referencing. It's from. I want to shout him out just for reference. If you've made this up, you've gotten me.
At Sniffhard69.
Yeah, his name is just Mr. CFL. He's got no real picture. at CFL season as the end. Tweeted it out on 9/13. I'm gonna take it as he's got 239 followers. I'm taking that as complete gospel. And I've referenced that tweet many times this episode, so I need to shout him out.
Wow.
But okay, we're
both
on Montreal -2.5.
Yeah. Do you have, and we might be telling on ourselves here, do you have actual standings, like records?
For our thing?
Yeah.
I had it going into last week. I haven't looked at last week, so that's why I'm writing them down now, because I always forget to write them down, and then I have to go re-listen to our episode from last week, and it's difficult for me to like find the exact time we're talking about it, so I end up just listening to the whole episode. But I work during the day. It's tough, so I'm gonna write them down, and I'm gonna go back at some point this week and find last week, get our records, and get it updated.
Yeah, it's no problem. I need to know what my magic number's at. So
yeah.
Thank you. Awesome. Ardarius Pickett, big loss. I got Montreal. Last one I think is maybe the most actually intriguing game of the weekend. Winnipeg heads to Edmonton. We know Trey Ford is starting. Winnipeg is warm right now. They're hot. They're a bad team, allegedly.
-1.5 is what they are. I have no comment about the rest of what you said. They're all I know is Winnipeg -1.5.
Yeah, despite me directly quoting you, I had a hard time trying to pick this one. I ended up on I know you didn't. For somebody who is not biased in any way.
What do you Okay. Go ahead.
Not on this game.
Go ahead.
Okay. For somebody who's not biased on this game specifically, I think the best value you can get would be Edmonton money line, and that's my pick. I think Trey is going to have him in a good spot. Everybody's feeling good. Very little in the injury department. Winnipeg is hot, but Edmonton is confident, and I think coming at home, Winnipeg, they're off a bye. Both teams are off a bye. I think Edmonton gets the slight advantage at home.
As somebody who's totally unbiased in regards to this game, I am gonna agree with you, believe it or not.
Wow,
look,
what a time.
Let's face it, Winnipeg, some are saying a bad team. Their so-called hot streak that they're on is against some of the worst teams in the league, like the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Hamilton Tiger. This is not.
Are you a fake fan?
They beat Rourke when he had 5 days to learn the playbook. Let's not say it's a real win streak. They faced the two coldest teams in the league and a guy who hadn't learned the playbook yet. This is a fraudulent win streak. They still stink. They're terrible, and Edmonton's going to thrash them this week. My backup team, the Edmonton Elks, who I've picked every single week so far. Every single Edmonton game, I have picked them. Does not matter. I will continue to pick them. The Edmonton Elks money line. Let's ride.
I love it. Good teams win, great teams cover. An Edmonton win means they're both good and great this week. Folks,
love that.
I gotta say, I want to reiterate. We have no plan for when my second child is coming. I don't know when. It could be 2 weeks or so here. In total honesty, is about when she's due. So, first of all, if you are a kind and supporting human and you've listened to us before in any capacity, Spotify or YouTube, go ahead and tell your friends and share. Help a struggling artist such as myself and Ant to help us. So yeah, and if you're thinking, wow, it's kind of messed up to use your second child to blackmail me into sharing your podcast about the CFL, to you, I would say, you're darn right I did. That's exactly what I just did to you. So
this Sunday, Hop's going to post roughly 50 pictures of his first child. So you're also blackmailed with his first child.
True. She's darn. Look, every person thinks their kid's cute. My kid is darn cute. So
totally unbiased source over there.
Certainly
just like unbiased. I was for Winnipeg, Edmonton. Totally unbiased.
Yeah. That was the same thing. That was the exact same thing. Look, all your kids are ugly, but my kid is actually cute. Oh man, no, we appreciate all the support we get, whether it's a little or a lot from time to time on our episodes. So we really appreciate it. If you're so inclined, please do share. Please, the email.
Even if
Why
you're not
not?
inclined, still share.
Yeah, our
If
email
you're
is
declined, still share.
yeah. If you actually hate us, football.aeh.pod@gmail.com. Look, I have this email on my phone, and if I guarantee you this, if you email me, even if it were something really mean, I will respond. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna respond with. I reserve the right to be equally as mean, but
We will respond to any email as long as they are in accordance with the laws governing both the United States and Canada. That's our rule.
ooh, smart. That's
Don't
smart.
send us any
Yeah.
threats or anything, but other than
Yeah.
that, we'll accept literally anything you want to say.
No threats and no evidence of a crime you committed.
That's good. I'm not a lawyer yet. Yeah, good call. We would like to say that. Also, if we could lay off maybe some, I don't know, just no anti-Semitism or homophobia.
Right.
None of
Yeah.
that. Just
Yeah.
you can say mean stuff to us. Just don't take it there. All right. Just call us dumb or something.
Yeah, call me dumb and fat. That's totally understandable.
We're fine with that.
You're actually right. You'd be correct in saying so.
You'll be the
don't.
second person that day who called me that, and the other one is me.
Yeah. What an end to a CFL podcast. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. Please do share if you think you or your friends or a loved one would find this entertaining, because we don't have any plans on stopping except for maybe a week or two after my kid's born. So other than that, we really appreciate it. Thank you guys. This is a Football A podcast.
See you guys.